News' senior correspondent Eric Shawn with that angle. Eric, good morning to you.
Good morning, Maria, and good morning, everyone. You know, the deal isn't even finished, and critics charge President Obama is already giving in. That the day after reports say Iran Army Day was celebrated yet again with that reflexive chant, "Death to America." Iran is demanding all sanctions be dropped completely when this deal is signed. Now the president is pressured. Sanctions removed without any proof Iran is really cooperating. Iran says there will be no inspections of military sites, like the Parchin military complex, where its suspected nuclear research was conducted. At his news conference on Friday, the president said this.
The P5+1's job is to sometimes find formulas that get to our main concerns while allowing the other side to make a presentation to their body politic that is more acceptable.
But Illinois Republican Senator Mark Kirk, who sponsored the original sanctions bill, accuses Iran of backtracking.
Secretary Kerry recently testified before the Senate that it would only take 2 more months for Iran to build a bomb. We must use strong economic pressure on Iran to prevent them from getting nuclear weapons.
Supporters say any agreement is better than none at all, and it will delay Iran's nuclear program. But then there was this blunt threat from Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif, saying, quote, "If we take the path of confrontation, the United States and the United Nations will continue with their sanctions, and Iran will continue with its enrichment program without any limitations." So as Iran threatens to enrich whatever it wants, the talks will resume in Vienna this coming week. The White House insists the president will only accept a deal with phased sanctions. But as Mr. Kerry presumably follows the president's orders to be creative, skeptics hope that is not a creative way of just saying uncle. Maria?
All right, Eric, thanks very much. Eric Shawn with the latest there. More now with Congressman Thornberry. And Congressman, all of this going on at a time that the situation in Yemen is deteriorating, as the Americans are on the side of the Saudis, and Iran is saying if the Saudi-led upset in Yemen continues, there will be more bloodshed.
Yeah, and this is a key point actually related to the Iranian issue, because even if everything worked perfectly on the nuclear deal, the effect would be that tons of money floods into Iran so they can have more money to fund their other activities, including their missile program and including their proxy war in Yemen, in Iraq, in Syria, and elsewhere. So all of those other activities where Iran is aggressive, expanding their influence, making neighbors in the area nervous, like Saudi Arabia, etc., none of that is even on the table. And actually, this deal makes Iran stronger.
Yeah.
And that's one of the concerns that lots of people have.
You mentioned Cuba a moment ago in terms of opening up relations there. What are your concerns?
My concerns are that the administration is determined to make peace with our enemies at any cost. And I don't know that Cuba in and of itself has huge geopolitical implications, but I do know that countries around the world, in Eastern Europe, in Asia, and the Middle East, are watching what we do with regard to Iran and Cuba, and they're saying, do we really want to be friends with the United States anymore? And that has a destabilizing effect. It increases dangers around the world, and that may really be the legacy of the Obama administration.
Yeah, and more through executive action, by the way. Let me get your take on the video released this morning, because then there is ISIS. And this morning, ISIS apparently releasing a video show the killing of 2 different groups of captured Ethiopian Christians by their Libyan affiliates. What can you tell us here?
Well, 2 things. One is we have seen a tremendous increase in the number of Christians being persecuted for their faith. And there are not enough people of all faiths speaking out to denounce it. Secondly, regardless of the toing and froing of land inside Iraq, you know, taking a city, losing a city, ISIS is growing, and they're growing ideologically. They're growing in Libya. They're growing in Afghanistan. A bomb there yesterday was attributed to ISIS in Jalalabad. So this ideology and their influence is growing in competition with al-Qaeda. So terrorism is on the move and we do not have an effective strategy to stop it.
So is there something we should be doing that we're not doing?
Yeah, we should be stronger. For example, the training we're doing in Iraq comes with restrictions. We will not let advisors go into the field with the people we have trained. Secondly, we are not on the battlefield when it comes to social media and the ideological struggle. So part of what you've seen is ISIS growing in appeal. It's not targeted to us. It's targeting to those Muslims, especially 18-year-old males in these countries who might want to join their cause. And we're not even on the playing field in trying to prevent that. You've seen the president of Egypt, King Hussein, starting to speak out about how we need to do more, but the United States isn't really helping.
Congressman, good